Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to my abundant, radiant, prosperous, and positive energy channel. So, today I want to talk about kind of like a continuation of healing from past traumas. Don't judge my hair, I just washed it. So, basically, what I want to talk about is if you feel like you've been raised by a covert narcissist, or your mother or your father was abusive, or your sister was just bitch, or you had any type of trauma whatsoever, or had any mental trauma, I guess, left from whoever or whatever. And because I had done a lot of research into a covert, because I felt like that's what I was raised by, I know a lot about it. And I had made another video talking about healing from it. And, I looked into her childhood and thinking like, okay, well, she wasn't raised by people who talk about their emotions and stuff like that. It's very just, everything's just ha funny, and you don't talk about anything real. And that the narcissists, they play a lot of mind games. And so you can imagine if you come to them and you tell them, well, I feel like this, and they could be like, oh, well, you could tell them like, oh, well, I'm upset because of this. And it's like, oh, no, you're taking it the wrong way. I didn't mean it like that. Oh, like, no, what are you talking about? Because they're playing with your mind, right? In my personal situation, I really don't feel like that was the case. I feel like she really just doesn't know how to communicate on that level, because it just never happened for her. That's just not what they do in her family growing up. But the reason why I mention it is because I don't want anybody thinking like, oh, like, man, she got played. Like, no, like, I personally, with my intuition, I just don't feel like that. But in another situation, but I don't want to put it out there and feel like to tell people like, oh, if this is how it happened for me, so it's probably like that for you. Like, it might not be that way for you. You might really be dealing with somebody who's a covert narcissist, or just a straight up regular narcissist, or somebody just playing mind games, or being verbally abusive, physically abusive, whatever. Like, that can be real. That could be true to your story, regardless of what the other person says. But what I'm saying is that you have to go with your intuition and don't get played by these people, because that's the type of shit that they do. And another thing, nobody likes the victim. Nobody likes the victim mentality. Don't sit around and like, oh, poor me, like, I was raised like this, and like, nobody loved me, and I got picked on in school, and life is so hard for me, and nothing ever goes my way. Don't nobody like that shit, okay? Nobody likes it. You don't even like it. and it doesn't do anything for you at the end of the day. Like, that's not gonna help pay your bills. That's not gonna do anything but just create excuses on why things aren't being taken care of in your life. If you feel like you have been raised a certain type of way, you're gonna have to deal with that. I dealt with it. I got the response out of it that I got. Yours may be different, because everybody's different. Everybody's story is different. But the point is go ahead and face it and just deal with it head on. And whatever comes of it, and be like, okay, this is what it is. All right, cool. I have my own life to live. Like, I got my whole life to live. I either already have kids, or I plan on having kids, or maybe you don't plan on having kids. And that's very important. You can't walk through life constantly thinking about like the past. The past is the past. That's where it is, and that's where it's going to stay. You can create your own future. You literally can create the life that you desire. And you don't have to have your mind clouded by things that happened to you years and years ago, because it literally, you think those people still thinking about you? Think those kids in elementary school that used to talk about like your shoes and so, you think they thinking about you today? Probably not. I mean, and even if they are, who cares? Or even if the person who abused you is still thinking about you, and they still have negative thoughts about you, and they hope that you don't make it in life, that's their problem. They got to deal with that. They're going to have their own demons. They got their own karma that they have to deal with. Leave it there. Like, who cares? Like, you have to move on for yourself. You have to leave things alone, regardless of what type of response you get out of it. Like, oh, well, even if it's like, oh, I feel better about the situation now, or that didn't really make me feel any better, like, whatever. If you dealt with it, and you got what you got out of it, whether it's good or bad, it's now time to move on. You have to move on because you're that important. You are that precious. You have God within you. Like, to think about whoever you pray to, like God, the universe, divine creator, whoever it is for you in your life, that's inside of you. And to know that that's inside of you, doesn't that make you kind of think like, okay, like there's so much more to life than thinking about shit that happened to me back then, or even if it's happening to you right now. Get up out the situation, do what you have to do, because life is too precious to be thinking about, what somebody else has done to you. Like, who cares? Everybody, and I mean everybody, is gonna have karma to pay, good or bad. If you do bad, you gonna get it back. And it's like, oh well, this person, they never seem like they get it. Like they don't never complain about anything. They just be over here fucking people over left and right, and they just seem like they live in a good life. Well, that's what it seems like. You don't know what they're really dealing with behind the scenes. And even if everything is going right, one day it's gonna crash. They gonna crash and burn. They gonna get theirs. You still have to worry about yourself at the end of the day. That's just a little continuation I wanted to say, just let you guys know, like, I didn't get played. I didn't just let somebody tell me like, oh, that this is what it is, or maybe I thought like, oh, maybe it's just like they just don't understand and they don't know any better. Like, it's okay. Like, no, I really thought about it. Like, okay, and this is what I got out of it. I really feel like this person just does not know how to communicate about their emotions, about feelings, about anything real. And my whole life, I felt like that. Not to mention, I'm biracial. I was born in England, and I was pretty much the only black person there. At least, I know there were other black people in the whole country, but that's just what I felt like, because my biological father, he dipped up out of my life at a very young age, and I know my stepdad's been in my life since I was 2. So my biological father, I don't know him, don't care to know him, whatever, like I don't even think about you. But I say that because when I was going to school, even though I had my stepdad in my life who was black, when I went to school, I was like pretty much the only black kid there. And then I got made fun of all the time. Like, and out there, instead of using the word like, oh, use a nigga, like out there, the word is brownie. Like, I got called brownie all the time, like all the time. They used to make fun of my hair. They used to make fun of like whenever they would see my dad come pick me up, because he's black and he's American. So he came off very like abrasive to them and just like strong-willed, I guess. And these are just little kids. And so I got made fun of because of that. And I just did not know where I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. And then with the rest of my family, obviously they're all white, because I don't know my black side. They're all white, and I'm the only black one. I feel like an outsider. No matter, it's like it don't matter. They could have done everything in the world to try and make me feel better about the situation, but I would have never felt that way, because that's just how I felt. Like, you ain't me. Like, this is how I feel. This is my surroundings. But and with my family, even though I felt like they did show some love and care for me in some ways, I also knew that they didn't like my stepdad because he was black and American. So if you don't like my dad, which I just call him my dad, he's been in my life since I was 2. I don't say stepdad or call him by his name. That's my dad. But if you don't like my dad because he's black, how you like me then? Like, so this is what I'm dealing with. And then and then my mom has certain type of ways where she doesn't speak on feelings and show affection and stuff like that. So it's like I'm getting that, so I'm taking that a certain type of way. And that's why I felt like, okay, she must be a covert narcissist. That's why I got out of it. But then I start piecing everything together. These are all circumstantial situations. Like, okay, like you're black, you're in England, you go to school with a bunch of white kids, your dad is black and American, like that just makes you look worse in everybody else's eyes. It is what it is. So like I was saying, just look into your situation and look at everything from everybody's point of view, because you might be taking it the wrong way, you may not be taking it, things might be even worse. But like I said, you still have to be able to just suck it up and be like, all right, cool, this is what the situation is. I gotta live my own life. I gotta move on because I'm worth it. I know that sounds cheap. I'm worth it. Like, you really are though. Like, you are, I promise you. So just want to make this video short. I wanted to put that out there. Like, no, I didn't get played. It wasn't that type of situation. I'm not stupid. I feel like I'm definitely maturing a whole lot and understanding you gotta see things for what it really is through everybody else's eyes to get the full picture. But until we share the same space again, I'm sending you guys love, positive vibes, and healing energy to you all.